Good morning, Carl. We've got some breaking news regarding Boeing. Remember, a few weeks ago, they established a $100 million fund for the families of victims of the two 737 MAX crashes, one in Indonesia and one in Ethiopia. Well, now they have said, you know what, of that $100 million that we're setting aside, we're going to take $50 million of that, and that money is going to be distributed to the families of the victims through Ken Feinberg and Camille Barrows. And we're all familiar with Ken Feinberg's work, whether it was with the 9/11 Fund. I had to work with him and interview him several times when it came to the GM Ignition Switch Fund for victims there, where they handed out about $595 million. So now Boeing is saying, you know what, Ken Feinberg and Camille Barrows, they're experts in terms of distributing funds to the victims' families, figuring out the appropriate level of compensation, and they will be in charge of that. And guys, it's not a coincidence that this news comes out just a half hour before a House hearing will be taking place on the state of transportation as well as aviation safety. And expected to testify at that hearing will be relatives of victims from some of these 737 MAX accidents, some of the relatives of some of the victims. So that's going to get a lot of attention today, and no doubt Boeing is saying, you know what, we realize what's going on here. We want to make sure that we are being sensitive, or at least appear to be sensitive, to the needs of these families. So Ken Feinberg and Camille Barrows will be in charge of distributing that $50 million. Guys, back to you.
All right, Phil, thank you very much. I'm trying to remember, Jim, if you suggested retaining Feinberg when this happened earlier on.
I did it for Facebook, not for Boeing. This is Ken Feinberg has the kind of standing that nobody challenges, and that's what's necessary right here, right now.
Yeah, he's got a very specific set of skills, Mr. Feinberg.
But they're not a nightmare for anyone because he's really good.
No.